Hey guys, Bryce Tubbs here. Today I just want to talk about a concept called the money line. So basically what this is it's a sales principle. It's going to allow you to be able to go and close more sales and more consultations and sign up clients at higher price points. Now, if you understand this principle, it's going to make things feel a lot easier when you are talking to potential clients. If you don't understand it, you're going to do a lot of these mistakes that a lot of people make. This is why most people do not like sales and are not good at sales. But if you can understand these principles, it's going to make you 99% better than, 99% of people. I can almost guarantee that, because as soon as I learned these principles, that's when my close rate started becoming more consistent. That is when, just things started making a lot easier. And life kind of opened up, because it was like you develop this skill set of being able to have brief conversations with people, understanding how you can help them out, being able to clearly explain how you can help them out, and then they are ready to work with you for, in some cases, up to 5, 10, 15 years, because in our industry as accountants and bookkeepers, clients tend to stay with us for a long time because we've overcame that hurdle of trust, and now we are their trusted advisor. Now, before we go into this video, if you want some help growing your business, right? Maybe you've been trying, maybe you've been spinning your wheels, and you just don't know exactly what you need to do, or you've been thinking about getting started, you're serious about getting started, you just don't really know exactly what to do and you want to avoid all the mistakes getting started. I just invite both of you to be able to come and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me and see if I can help you. On the call, we're just going to take a look at 3 things. Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? If I think I can help you out, I'm just going to outline exactly what that looks like, and we can talk about working together and get you started right then. So if that's you, I'll see you on the call, but back to what we're talking about right now, okay? So, we're calling this the money line, okay? So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through this whole principle today, but I want to make sure that we can go through the basics. I want to go from start to finish. I just don't know how much detail I can go in with each step, because that could take, hours, to be honest. So the reason why I'm even doing this video is because I've been, working a lot with the different sales reps inside of my company, and we're trying to make sure that they become even better, right? So I started talking to other students inside of my mentorship program, and I was like, hey, do you guys think this could be of some value to you? And they said, yes, it'll be of some value to you. So we started talking about it, and now, even though you might not be working with me if you're watching this, I still want you to be able to make some money, right? Generally what's happened in the past is the more value that I give away for free, the more money people can make before they start working with me, and then they just kind of give me some of that money as a result to say, like, thank you, and then we take them to that next level, more of that $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month mark. If you don't want to make $15,000 to $30,000 a month, that's okay. We do help beginners go from 0 to about 12, but if you did want to make more, we of course can help you make more. Okay, so let's kind of dive into this. Oh, my battery's dying. We'll see how far we can go. So, number 1. Okay, imagine that your money is a straight line. Your sales call needs to be a straight line. Okay, a straight line. The ultimate call would be that it takes about 15-20 minutes. The person has no questions for you. You are leading, you are being an expert, the person respects you, the person thinks you are great, and then the person ends up paying you directly on the phone call. Now, for some of our students, they only take payment over the phone. They don't send invoices. That, of course, is a skill that you might need to develop over time, but if you're not there yet, that's okay. You can still send invoices. You can get people to pay you after the phone call. That's no problem right there, okay? So let us first get started with this thing. So number 1, okay? It's all about setting the frame. Okay, setting the frame is almost like you are protecting your line. So imagine this is kind of like a moat, right? There's a lot of, we'll call this chaos. Chaos, right? There's a lot of chaos coming at you. Boom, boom. Trying to go and take you off of your line. Okay? Now, it's almost like there's people who are coming in there, and the people who are chaos have magnets. Ooh. And the magnets are actually trying to pull, the magnets are trying to pull you off your line. They're pulling you off your line. If you don't have this guard, the magnets are actually going to get through and they're going to pull you off the line, and you're going to go off into what we call the galaxy. Or you're going to go off into space, go off to Pluto is what we call it in sales, right? That's when they have you talking about like, sorry, my battery just cut out a couple seconds ago, so I had to restart and just go charge the battery real quick. But what's going to happen is they're going to try and pull you off to Pluto. Now, we don't want this, guys. We want to make sure that we are in total control of our call from the start to the end of our call. And over time, you're going to get stronger at being able to resist this magnetic pull of people asking you questions off of your line. However, one way that you actually do, and you actually stop this from happening in the first place, is just by setting the opening frame correctly. That is basically just saying your three things, right? So there's always three things you need to go and direct someone to. So number one is you have to see exactly where they are right now. Then number two, you need to go and identify where do they want to go. Then thirdly, you just outline exactly what it looks like for you to work with them, and you discuss pricing, and they can either get started right then if you get really good, or they can pay on the invoice after the call. Okay, so that is number one, okay, the straight line. Now, all throughout your presentation, your job is to go and move them down this line towards paying you money. Right? And this is where a lot of people struggle. A lot of people just don't really understand that within here, you're actually trying to create an environment, a buying environment. Okay? So basically, imagine it's kind of like you have this ecosystem. This ecosystem of trees, right? Ecosystem of trees. You're planting trees. It's fun. The sun's shining, right? And as long as people are inside of this forest and there's tranquility, getting someone to pay you money is very, very, very easy. Oop, we're out of focus. Why is it auto-focusing like that? Awesome. It's very easy for you to be able to get people to want to work with you and want to pay you money. However, if this environment is disrupted, let's say there are now, clouds, and they have lightning bolts coming, and the lightning bolts are actually destroying the trees. Your trees are becoming no more. Okay, pretty soon you're going to be in the Sahara Desert, right? And it went from a rainforest to being the Sahara Desert, right? Now they feel really, really, really hot, and now no one wants to buy. That's kind of what happens whenever you have a good environment, but then you start going in a lot of different directions on your sales call, and you start making it where they have a lot of red flags that start popping up and make it very hard for them to want to work with you and to want to give you money. See, now that's the place that most people struggle with, and that's why a lot of people can't really get this thing to work. Now, the last part, right? Let's say we get to the end of our line. So this is about like closing and objection handling. Okay, closing and objection handling is very, very simple. The way that you close a sale is by simply asking, have you seen enough to make a decision to move forward? Or, quite simply, are you ready to get started? Okay, most people, they struggle here. Like, they're like, oh, maybe in a couple days we can get started. Your job is to see if you can get cash on the phone call, right? If you can do cash and you can do the contract, the way that I show my students how to do is we actually have the people sign a proposal while they're still on the call, and then they can actually get the cash paid right then, right? So it just makes it a lot easier for you to get paid. So that's how some of my students, you see, like they close $2,000 in cash collected on a phone call, right? It's because they literally did it while they're on the phone. Some people, if they're like a little bit inexperienced, they will actually send an invoice after and then get paid. If you do a good enough job on your sales call, then it's really easy. But if you do an invoice afterwards, during, invoice after. If you do the invoice after, you open yourself up to a lot of different cans of worms. Okay, let's see if we can Sorry, I have like autofocus on, and it's trying to focus, but it's just like, woof, it's all over the place. Invoice after, okay. Follow up. Didn't face the demons. And another thing that happens is actually we're going to call it B2B life cycle / life. To be life cycle life. This is supposed to say sales. Sales cycle. Okay. So if you do your invoice during the call, okay, it's very quick, very simple, and you've already collected the cash, right? This causes urgency because you already have their money, so now they want to give you all information as fast as possible so you can get the work done as quickly as possible and they can move forward, right? But it also gets cash flow. Like sometimes I'll see people and they charge retainer, but they get paid the retainer at the end of the month. I don't understand that. You should get paid your retainer up front. That's the whole purpose of a retainer. If you didn't know, like the only time you should get paid like on the 15th, 30th is if you're charging hourly and you don't know exactly how many hours it's going to be ahead of time. But if you know exactly what the amount is going to be, you need to negotiate to get paid as soon as today as possible. Right? That just makes it easier for your business to be able to grow. When you're starting out, your job is to really get cash flow. Okay? Cash flow. Okay? Cash flow. A lot of people think it's just to get a client, but that's not really what we want to do. If we can get a $30,000 a month client, that's better than getting 1 million clients, right? We want to get cash flow, right? It's easier to manage the less people you have, and it's generally only one person you're tracking down for money every single month, unless you turn on like ACH, it's automatically coming out of their business or their bank account. Okay? But now, okay, cash flow. When you're starting out a business, the thing that's going to cause you to succeed or fail is your cash flow. This is a secret reason why 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 10 years. A lot of people think it's because, starting a business is hard. It's not that starting a business is hard. It's just that managing your money, both what's coming in and what's flowing out, as well as the timing of when each of those activities happen, is the place in the magic that most people struggle with. Okay? So you have to really become a master of that. That's why you're trying to get as much cash as possible and why you're trying to get as much cash per client as possible, as fast as possible. If you can get it in one payment, that's better. If you can get paid one payment before you start work, then a cool thing happens. If you say, let's say you get about 10 clients at $1,000 each, right? Let's say you have one that starts 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's on average 4.3 weeks in a month, right? So let's say that person goes on like a Tuesday on week 1. Okay, cool. So now every single month on week 1, on Tuesday of week 1, you're going to get paid recurring from that person, right? And you already start out ahead of the game because they've already paid you the first $1,000 payment. Let's say another person, client number 2, pays you on Friday of week 1. Okay, cool. So now you're not only getting paid on, day number 2 of the month and day number 5. Okay, cool. So that's 2 times you're getting paid, right? Now let's say that you get another one that's week number 2 on a Monday, and then, you don't sign anybody else up. Let's say this person pays you Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's about 6. We'll say Tuesday, TH. We'll say for this one they pay like Thursday. Alright, cool. So now, what this actually does for your business, it makes it so much easier for you to make money and for you to actually be able to have financial freedom. Because you're getting paid on week number 1 on Tuesday and Friday. It's days, the Tuesday and the Friday of the week. Okay, cool. So every single month on the first week of the month, you're going to be getting paid Tuesday and Friday. Then on the same thing on week number 2, Monday and Thursday, right? A lot of people, what they do is they'll actually try and get payment, especially on the retainers. They'll only bill on the 1st and the 15th, which is cool, but I mean, you have to become really good at managing your cash, right? If instead, what you did was you started getting good. Wow, this thing is like hyper-focusing everywhere. If instead, what you got good at, let me see if I should autofocus or manual focus. Yep. Okay. It should be good now. Should be good. Okay, if instead what you got good at was getting paid throughout the month, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 10 different paydays. That's going to actually secure you in case there are many emergencies, right? If it's only the 1st and the 15th, that means you're waiting on money. And it makes it very hard for you to operate a business, for you to capitalize on investments, for you to capitalize on opportunities for money, and it just makes things a lot harder. Instead, you need to be making it to where you're actually getting payments over time, okay? So this is actually really key, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't really understand. Maybe I'll do another video about this in the future. If you want me to make another video about this, go ahead and write down cash flow secrets, and I will go and make a video on that. Let me actually take a note. Cash flow secrets. Cool. Now back to what we're talking about, our straight line. You see what happened to me? I actually got off my straight line and we went down into Pluto. But in some cases, going off into Pluto is not a bad thing if it helps out the person who is watching the video or who is watching the training. Okay? So let me see. Can you fully... I think you guys can fully see it. If you can't see it, I'm sorry. It's a new camera. It's a new camera plus whiteboard. We've never done this before, so trying to get good at it. Okay? If you actually do the invoice after the call, this is what you open yourself up to. One follow-up, because sometimes people say, yeah, send me an invoice, and you don't hear from them again for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years before they ever pay you the money, right? You don't want to do that. You want to, again, like the cash will get paid as soon as possible. So you got to make sure that if you are going to go to the invoice afterwards, either one, you made sure that your sales call was good and that they are going to close. Number 2, if you do invoicing after, you actually did not face the demons. So when I say face the demons, whenever you talk about money, you're going to really see whatever is holding someone back in their life, right? The less money someone has, the more demons around money they're going to have. And in some cases, they can be really angry, they can be really scared, they can be really fearful. So you need to know exactly what are they thinking about when you're talking about this money. Because some people, even if they're making, like 7 figures, 8 figures a year, spending $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month might still scare them, even though they have all this money coming in, right? Because they might be living in scarcity. So you need to know that ahead of time rather than just saying, okay, I'll send the invoice afterwards. They're like, yeah, send the invoice afterwards. You feel really good and the person never signs up with you. You need to understand what are they going through right then and there on the call and face those demons. Okay, next one, number 3. Okay, B2B sales cycle. On average, it takes between 7 to 11 times of reminding someone to start It literally takes between 7 to 11 times reminding, okay? Generally they call it follow-ups, but really it's just a reminder that, hey, you said you wanted to pay me some money. When are we getting started? 7 to 11 times. Now this 7 to 11 times can be in the span of 1 week every single day, or it can be over the span of, 7 to 11 months, right? But the problem is you are at the mercy of whenever the person responds to you and is getting back to you. It's very similar to follow-up, right? This actually goes hand in hand with follow-up. But a lot of people just don't really understand that. So they think that if they get ghosted, it's because, in a lot of cases, if you get ghosted and they're not responding at all, that means you just didn't do a good job on the sales call, right? And they're just looking for a reason to get off the phone. If, however, they keep responding to you, oftentimes they're going to respond to you 7 to 11 times and finally get tired, like, okay, I'm ready to get started, right? It's not they're being malicious or they're lying to you. It's just, that's just how business is, right? Because one thing that goes hand in hand with the business life cycle, the B2B, that's business to business life cycle, is life. Okay, that's vacations. That is health problems. That is life events. right? So they might go on vacation. Like we're going into, when I'm filming this now, it's Memorial Day, so we're going into that. I had one of my closers say, "Hey, do you want me to take the day off for Memorial Day?" And I kind of laughed at him. I was like, I was like, I laughed and I was like, "Do you want to be a millionaire one day?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, the only way that you're going to be a millionaire is if you're working when other people are on vacation." Think about it. Part of our accounting and well, for the coaching business specifically, our prospects are going to be, having the day off of work. Some of these people who are trying to change their lives, they're going to be booking calls on Memorial Day because they're not ready to take a vacation yet. They are trying to go and they're trying to win the battle. So if our company is helping those people out, we need to be available when they're available, even if that means, in our case, sacrificing a little bit of our free time. Now, when you own your own business, you can make the choice not to do that. Like if you're just trying to get to, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a month, you don't necessarily need to work holidays and weekends. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying for us, we're trying to help out as many people as possible. So we have, actively made that decision that I am willing to sacrifice a little bit of my free time to help people out. So in that case, yeah, we are going to be taking calls on Memorial Day for people who are serious about, fixing their situation. And I told them, "Hey man, it's a Monday. It's a Monday. For some people, they're going to have day off of work and, they're going to relax, they're going to have fun. That's okay. But some people, they're going to urgently need our help and they're going to want to book our help on that day. So you have to be willing to make that little sacrifice. And that's not for everybody. That's just for me. Okay, that's just for me. And my sales reps are an extension of me. Just very simple. Next thing is health problems, right? There's a lot of people that have health problems. And health problems are not just with the person. It could be like a child gets sick. It could be that, somebody ends up in the hospital because they had a broken arm, right? And that's going to extend your sales cycle, right? Next thing is life events. Maybe they had a birthday. Maybe they had a graduation. Maybe they're having a wedding. Oh, that's a good one. Especially if you're talking to certain millionaires, right? Let's say that their son or daughter's getting married and now they're helping pay for the wedding. And, when they're rich, they have to live up to societal expectations, and they're going to drop a lot of money on this wedding. And that was the same money, the same, 50,000, same, I'm only speaking from experience, I'm just saying, it was the same 50,000 they were going to give to you, they just spent on their child's destination wedding. Because now they just became a millionaire, a year and a half ago, and they had so much money in the bank, and now they just, spent it on a $50,000 wedding. But that's the same money they were going to, had earmarked for working with you. And it can be very frustrating, but in some cases this happens. That's why we try and get money as soon as possible, so we can mitigate a lot of those different things that happen in the business life cycle, right? And that's basically a straight line, guys. Very simple process. It's just there's a lot of little things that are in there. And I've been kind of inspired to speak more about sales recently because I'm training a lot more sales reps inside of both my companies, both my accounting firm and inside of my coaching business. So I do want to make sure that I'm at the tip top and the foremost, kind of expert when it comes to sales. So I wanted to be able to share this information with you as well as it's coming out and as things are becoming relevant. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn probably about 200 different things you should never do on a sales call, write down 200 things or let's write down sales mistakes, 200 sales mistakes, and I'll actually send that to you. Finally, if you want some help growing your business, but you just don't know exactly what you don't know, you've been trying to make it work, or maybe you've been thinking about trying to get started with your business, but again, you don't want to make any of the mistakes that most people make, and you want to reach your goal in the shortest period of time possible with the least amount of arrows in your back from trial and error. I just invite you to go ahead and click on the link inside the description below to book a call with me to see if I can help you. Oops. Okay, on the call, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to take a look at where are you right now, where do you want to go. Thirdly, if I think it can help you out, I'm just going to outline what that process looks like for us to work together. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something new. If that's you, I'll see you on the call. If it's not the right time, I'll see you inside the next video. Take it easy.